Hello, in this video we are going to talk about direct liability of the principal and intentional tort. Remember, not all tort liability in agency law is vicarious. Sometimes the principal itself is liable because of their own conduct, not just because they employed the agent. Remember, in respondent superior, agent is the negligent party. However, the negligence gets attributed to the principal because of the employment relationship. However, in direct liability, and that is crucial, the principal itself does something which makes the principal liable for the conduct. For example, the principal may be directly liable when the principal authorizes the tort, directs the tort, ratifies the tort, or creates policies that causes the tort. So, for example, the principal who is running imagine a plumbing company, and the principal gives faulty tools to the plumbers that are gonna fix the plumbing issues in people's homes. In that situation, it's not really respondent superior because the principal itself, the company, did something wrong that caused the harm, and that is direct liability. You don't need to have a respondent superior. In the same example, remember, if the tools are okay, there's nothing wrong with them, but the agent, the plumber who goes and fixes the room, does something that is wrongful, negligent, then that gets attributed to the principal based on respondent superior. So it's very important to distinguish the two. Another important concept that you should take into account is that typically principal is not liable for intentional tort. Again, the plumbing company, for example, the plumber goes and uses the tool to, let's say, demolish a wall, or does something intentionally, gets angry, and then, gets into some violent act in the person's home. In that situation, because it's intentional tort, typically the employer is not liable. So remember, under certain circumstances, if what the agent does is at least in part to serve the principal, and it's connected to the type of work that the agent does, like bouncers are supposed to engage in some sort of intentional act, then those can be attributed to the employer. But generally, intentional torts are not attributable to the employer. Thank you.